Hello and welcome back. This is your first time watching. Thanks for joining us. Today's video will be on smoke screens and smoke grenades. Smoke generating systems are used widely in live demonstrations, including sporting events, concerts, among other things. Today I'll be using some stump remover, some granulated sugar, I got a roll of duct tape, a couple toilet paper rolls, and some firework fuse. So real quick, the history behind smoke grenades. The first smoke screen documented use was in the Battle of Macau in 1622. It was also used by the R.E. Lee during the Civil War to get past the blockade and escape the USS Iroquois. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Smoke screens can be utilized by ships, armored vehicles, light vehicles, and infantry units. Besides the tactical advantage from a military aspect, smoke screens or smoke grenades would be an awesome survival tool as well. If you were stranded in the middle of anywhere and needed to send a signal, would you rather use a mirror and try to reflect some light, or would you rather just throw up a whole bunch of smoke to try and get someone's attention? Real quick before we go into this, A, there's a cool find, and B, here's a safety tip. This is an actual AN M8 smoke grenade that I found on the beach during a training exercise. Now on the back of it, it says, do not use in enclosed areas and protective mask must be worn while in the cloud. I would not stand in the cloud of any smoke generating device because you don't want to be breathing that in. Thank you. There's two ways of making this. You can either mix it and leave it in powdered form, or you can mix it and then heat it up on a stove and it'll turn into a hard, thick-like substance that'll eventually harden. So you won't need a lid, rather, if you were to leave it in granulated form. So how I mix mine normally is I'll take a toilet paper roll, I'll grab my stump remover, I'll fill about halfway up, roughly halfway, and then I'll dump it into my mixing cup. But I'll take my sugar, try not to get this everywhere, and again, I'll just fill halfway, roughly, and I'll mix it right up. One thing about granulated form is if you take some iron oxide and you take about a spoonful or two, for today I'm just going to use one. But if you mix the iron oxide in your smoke mixture, it will actually slow down the chemical process, allowing it to last longer. If you buy sugar specifically for this purpose and you leave it outside, it could get some moisture and harden, so you're going to have to break some up. You also might get a little chunk of it when you're mixing it, so be sure to break those up. Alright, whenever I make this, I always have a napkin to put everything on and to catch anything that falls out or drips. I always use 4 layers of duct tape just to retain some heat because it gets obviously hot and so it doesn't burn through. I usually just start by pouring a little bit into my pan and letting it heat up. Alright, so it starts liquefying. And it's a good idea when you do this to have an overhead fan on and to open any windows, just because it does get quite smelly. Okay, we're good. Alright, sorry it's dark, but this is the time I did all this, so here we go. Alright, so now it's light out. I'm going to light this other one off. This is the one I cooked. So this one's about halfway full. Some of the material sank in when it was cooling. But yeah, I'll light this off. Remember, safety first, have fun. If you have any suggestions for future videos, I'm open to them, so let me know. Hopefully my neighbors don't get mad.